From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Wilson. And right away, he lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
The evolution of Clay Matthews as a player is just one that they're going to end up writing books about. He didn't even start until his senior year at USC. He didn't start in high school. And now he's at all-pro level in the NFL. How about the play he just made there?
Yeah, he has certainly made a name for himself. William Clay Matthews III.
81. Sunday.
On 2nd and 12, Wentz. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Hey, Haywood. Hey, Lou.
So we got man. Jump.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. Partner, we read a great article this week arguing for him to be Defensive Player of the Year. Normally, sacks are the big thing that people point to, but what he's done in the secondary has been something special.
It has been because it's been an all-around game for him, taking the ball away, rushing the quarterback, and sacking him himself, doing a number of different things that change the way the game is played.
In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
2 yards, good enough for a first.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. A lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. 2nd and 10 now from the 27. Here's Wilson throwing again. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience is early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. This will be fielded at the 17. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Lions will take over.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
And this is Parker, complete. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Comes to me, it's me.
5-9, 5-9. Smoke!
Shotgun now for Wentz. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard, and they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. The Buccaneers in good field position here to start out 1st and 10 at their own 46. They start the drive with Cook. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Alec Ogletree in on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
95, 95.
From just shy of midfield, Wilson. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. And he's got this down to the 35. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
First down, Buccaneers.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Wilson forced out to his into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10.
Check 9, check 9.
Go, go.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby, and he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Charles, I'm looking at you, and understandably, your mouth is wide open in disbelief. What were they thinking?
That's going to be one of the great mysteries, but I do know this. When they went out on offense, I will guarantee they told them, don't just make anticipatory throws. Make sure you see it before you throw it. Didn't happen here.
Trying to protect that lead, and now they gave it up. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
I'm coming. 58.
Man, 5-7.
Mike, 58. Right.
Now Wentz to try again after the pick six. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just looking the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Throwing his Wentz. Trying to lay one up deep. It got his man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one good for 37 yards. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Wentz to throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Preston Brown, the linebacker. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Throwing is Wilson. And this is Cook with a grab. It's a gain of 5, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Complete. It's Johnson. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now a run with Cook. About 3 yards there to the 27.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. He's brought down there by Kenny Moore. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jaleel Adai. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And his guys are going to get the... Football at the 37-yard line.
Let's go.
Screen 80. 19.
Mike 5-5. Mike 55. Mike 5-5.
In your face.
After the interception, here's Wilson. He'll take a shot for Davis to the end zone. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Corey Davis with touchdown number 8 on the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Zuerlein good with a PAT, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Their deficit is 11, 14-3, and needing to get something going here as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hey, seam 6.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know. But all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
He's going to let one go deep for Parker. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. On 3rd and 10, they go flying past the marker and get nearly 40 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Check. Watch 54. Here we go. Kill.
Again, they'll throw with Wentz. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
On the draw, Richard.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
951. Come on.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. And my goodness, another interception. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And a very good return as he takes us all the way up to the 35-yard line. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. 8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Wilson. Ebron's got it. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down. So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Montez Sweat in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. From midfield now, here's Wilson. He's going to go deep for Beasley. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike.
Help. Watch the twist. 14.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Go.
Now Wentz. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. He's going to let this one go deep. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Let's go, dude. Tighten up.
Final play of the half. It's Wilson. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach.
And now here is another interception. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
First down, Tampa Bay there, a gain of 13.
Got it.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson being chased out left. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Dalvin Cook, his 3rd touchdown now on the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
The Lions take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people would think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
The throw over the middle taken in. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
I got you.
Great 57.
At the 43.
Wentz now on first down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked by Kevin Byard. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Check 55 for Mike.
All day.
Here's Wilson. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Eric Ebron, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Zuerlein good with a PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. On the ground, Richard. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Switzer on the return. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense.
At their own 46-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. There have been no struggles here for this crew. I mean, they were up double digits at halftime, and they've just expanded that here in the second half.
And it appears there are no answers from the defensive side. I think right now, if I'm the coordinator, if I'm down on the field, if I'm wearing a hat, I've already thrown it. If it's a visor, it's sailed, right? My game plan is down by my feet right now because nothing I've drawn up appears to be working.
Well, he's going to have to find something right now to stop this offense. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great...
And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Adrian Peterson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys continue to pour it on. Zerline connects on the extra point, and the lead will swell by one more. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
Hey, 74, 74. Hey, high 7.
SOS.
That's a great 57.
He's crashing. He's checking crash.
Tighten up, tighten up.
On second down, Connor looking for space. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with third and about 6 yards to go.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Hey, zoom.
51, Mike 51. Three buzz. Let's go. Mike 51.
Sunday. What's that?
On third down, Richard. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on fourth down. Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for Detroit. Oh, it's a wobbler here. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson, that's going to be caught. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Eric Ebron with his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Zerline good with a PAT, and that will extend this big lead. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
He's coming, double up. Alert.
Kill, kill.
Alert 3. Check 3. Check 3. Check
6-6. Pull it high.
Switch gear. Switch gear.
Great, great.
Kill. Kill. Kill.
46 down, man. 5-4. What's the touch?
On second down, it's Connor. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Flash.
Watch safety creep.
81, 81.
Safety's creeping.
Check 57, 57. Hey, Charlie. What's the touch?
Wentz looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And that is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here's Switzer. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you.
And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter.
Come on. Hey, watch it. Watch it.
They'll run on 1st down. Richard. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hey, exit.
58, boy. 58. 58. It's Mike.
40.
Check safety. Check safety.
Hey, empty.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. And now here is another interception. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it. And some
pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Now it's Wilson. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. A 1st down run, not going to get them a whole lot. Maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 now from the 21.
Watch twist.
Man 5-7.
Twist. Hatch it.
They'll keep it on the ground. Richard. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On play action, Wentz. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fielded at about the 28. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. Elsewhere, they're into the 4th at FedEx Field. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. If they hold on, it would be win number. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Bucs, they're not going to go quietly here as the win moves them now to 8-6 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Lions, the season is really nosediving now as they fall to 2-12. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
Yeah, I just ran a checkup on myself. Some days I just have to check.